Welcome to the M2 podcast. This is episode 11 of season 3, right?
Yes.
And we missed last week. Mr. Kyle was on a vacation trip, and but we back, really. This is the show where we basically cover a week review of some esports, personalities, gaming industry related news, technology innovation, and upcoming games. So, yeah. What have you been up to lately, Kyle?
Oh, other than the vacay, not really a whole lot else. Talk about some games I played this week. I think I haven't really played too much this week in particular, but the little I have played, got back into Ark with a couple buddies.
Oh, really?
That's been interesting. I didn't really play too much last night, but that's when I started kind of playing again. Only got maybe like an hour in before I ended up just like going to bed because I was so tired. But man, it's I haven't played the game in so long, and there's still like I don't feel like I played it enough where like I know what I'm doing, even though I'm like going back and like
Yeah.
playing it. So I'm kind of having to relearn, but yeah, my buddies are into it, so I kind of just roll what the crew's rolling with. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, they used to be
exciting.
Ark used to be one of my favorite games to watch on Twitch. Like right when it got, remember it was like there was a good 2 or 3 month period where that thing was just dominating Twitch. Like
Yeah,
everybody was playing it. So
yeah,
yeah,
for
I haven't
sure.
played Ark in forever, but the new one's coming out soon. So that'll be pretty
Yeah,
sick.
Arc 2 or whatever it is.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I'm right there with you though on the vacation thing. I haven't been playing very many games at all, to be honest. I've been that's not entirely true. I did start Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time, and I got like 2 hours in. Took a little bit to get your character set up, but it threw me into the street. Is it Street Rat? I'm pretty sure it's Street Rat.
yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I just got thrown into it. When 2 hours in, I'm just like, dude, I want to keep playing, but life was happening to me, so haven't had much of a chance to really sit down and game.
Yeah. Understandable. Um,
Yes, sir.
but yeah, any also before we get into it, any shows you've been watching lately?
Yeah, you're basically referring to the Halo TV series.
May or may
Uh,
not be, we'll see.
yeah. So well, I watch Survivor every Wednesday, so
There you go.
that's
Classic.
yeah. But I mean, that's not gaming related like at all. Halo TV series on Paramount Plus. You can try it free if you have Xbox Game Pass. Um, is just a sci-fi that has like no real backing by the Halo universe. I watched episode 1. It's all right. The graphics are kind of cheesy for me. I mean, it's like a video game adaptation, so I didn't expect much. I'm really trying hard not to use my like background of the Halo lore because the game, like the TV series, isn't for the gamer, like the Halo gamer, Halo lore, like nerd like me.
Right.
So I'm just trying to watch it for what it is, and it's not terrible. It's really not. Like there's a lot of people like giving it a bunch of stick, but I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever. My girlfriend though watching it, she's like, we should watch the next episode. That looked like a lot of fun. It's like I've been talking to you about Halo religiously the entire story for like years now, and she watches one. She didn't even watch the full thing. She watched half of it. It was like that looked like a lot of fun. We should like. I want to go back and rewatch it. Are they doing more series? It's just like, who are you? So, yeah,
Oh, I mean, it
you
sounds
you
like
missed
this.
it though, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. It sounds to me though that they are capturing the audience they're looking for though with this series. It's kind of not so much for like the true diehard Halo fans, but at the
Yeah,
same time, I
yeah.
feel like you'd want to still kind of, in a sense, have them included almost. So kind of a weird choice, but I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe it's
I
good.
don't
I'll have to
understand
watch it.
it. Yeah. Yeah, there are some liberties taken with character. Um like relations and stuff like that where it kind of like it makes your head turn a little bit because you're like, ah, okay, I guess I could see why they would go in that direction because it makes it more interesting for a like dramatic effect, like you become more invested in the characters, like everything just suddenly means more when they change the relationship between characters. I'm not going to give anything away in case anybody hasn't seen it, but if you're like diehard Halo fan and you know the story of the games, you're going to know what I'm talking about when you find out. Um, but yeah, everybody's upset that they showed Master Chief taking off his helmet though.
Yeah, the first episode,
Uh,
man.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's not lore, so whatever.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like you could see his face kind of in the ending of Halo 4. If you beat the game on Legendary, you get to see like their like the eyebrows and the eyes like right here, kind of like goggles
Yeah.
area. You can see that, but yeah. I mean, what do you expect? It's just a beat up military white dude, I think. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like, especially if you were paying attention to the news and like what they were kind of, what the the
Yeah.
writers and everything were talking about before the series even came out. It shouldn't. I guess. I mean, yeah, they showed it in the first episode, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a surprise because it's not like canon. So it's like, whatever. I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
hopefully I'll get a chance soon to watch it.
but yeah, before we get started, and this is gonna be the last time I mention it. I did see a Twitter post where somebody made an actual good point about taking off the helmet, and somebody was comparing it to the Mandalorian, of how like the Mandalorian, if you watch that, the guy never takes off his helmet, and they're just like, oh, they should have had it that way. But what they didn't realize is like the character of the Mandalorian, it's within his culture to never take off his helmet. It's like a religious belief for him. It makes them the Mandalorian. With the Master Chief, it's entirely a video game, trope to make you immersed into the experience. Like, you are supposed to be the Master Chief. That's why he doesn't talk that much. That's why you're always looking from his POV, it's first person shooter, and, like, you never see his face because you can't disassociate with, like, if it's somebody that doesn't look like you or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was like, "That's actually a pretty good point," but that's the only reason why he wouldn't take off his helmet.
I'm sure there's a good reason, right? But like, come on.
Anyways, back to the week in review. What do you got for us this week?
Anyways, we have a decent amount of stuff to go this week. This week alone is crazy because like we missed last week, right? And again, apologies
Yeah.
again to the listeners for that. But I was looking kind of at the news. I mean, it seems like this past week we had some pretty heavy hitters. Just in this past week alone, not including I guess the
Yeah,
week
we
before
did.
that. So
We really did.
I guess it kind of worked out. But there's a couple there's a couple good things we have to talk about, a couple kind of like somber things to talk about, but nothing too like sad. Um so E3, I know we discussed in an earlier episode, one of the first episodes we did talked about how the E3 physical show was canceled this year and they weren't
Yeah.
it was the digital show was kind of up in the air. We weren't sure if we were going to get one or not. Well, it has been officially announced as of today at the time of recording this, on the 31st of March that there has been official word from ESA that has confirmed the cancellation of both the digital and the physical show in 2022. This article comes from IGN. Where I got it. Rebecca Valentine over at IGN stated. The article essentially reads that the show, the digital and physical for E3 2022, has been canceled. There is some good news though at the end of this article that I really want to touch on. That is, they did reach out to ESA to get an official statement. They said that they do plan for E3 to return in 2023 as a quote reinvigorated showcase. They said, we will devote all of our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. Whether enjoyed from the show floor or your favorite devices, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in a all-new format and interactive experience. We look forward to presenting E3 to fans around the world live from Los Angeles in 2023. So, they also go on to comment that the 2022 showcase, with it being canceled, it kind of gives them more focus, and they're able to allocate more resources towards making a better 2023 show whenever they do come back, which I think is great news. I've seen some comments already, I guess, of people that haven't been following the story too closely. I think for us, Mike, since we had covered it, we kind of suspected, and there was even speculation whenever the physical show was canceled that they're more than likely going to cancel a digital show. It was kind of like there was kind of rumblings, I think, on the inside. So the fact that this announced certainly didn't surprise me. I think it was kind of to be expected. But I've certainly seen people a little upset on Twitter about the fact that the show is gone and kind of reminiscing and putting those nostalgia glasses on of kind of, coming over from school and watching E3, or like, it's summer break, so like that was like all you did whenever E3 was on. You just like wake up early and watch on the TV. Definitely a lot of memories there, but I mean, I don't know. This, I mean, what do you think about everything, Mike? I mean, like I said, it kind of didn't surprise me, and I'm sure you're probably in the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. We definitely talked a lot about this when we were talking about like the different organizers and the Twitter posts that we reviewed or just like covered. They were never 100% on it. And I believe one of the guys, I can't remember who it was, but they might have even like floated the idea of canceling it altogether. And E3 apparently has been on the chopping block from a lot of devs, like just some devs not showing up anymore, hosting their own events. Um, it's kind of disappointing. You know what it actually reminds me of is like Super Bowl ads. You know what I'm talking about? Where like all of a sudden, remember when ads? I think it was like the last 4 or 5 years they started posting on YouTube their Super Bowl ad, and then those ads would go viral because it was like Super Bowl ads are super expensive and stuff like that. I think maybe E3 might go in that direction where just only devs are posting YouTube videos or Twitter posts or Instagram posts, social media. It's
Yeah,
way cheaper for them. So,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it's you brought up a great point. I mean, I I was certainly I think a little bit fearful at some point that they were just going to cancel E3 altogether. I think the fact that there is a 2023 showcase is
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that. And I'm very excited for
Me
that.
too.
Think it'll be very interesting. But I mean, yeah, I mean, just before they even had, before 2020 even happened, PlayStation pulled out, and it was kind of like the
Hmm.
first big kind of
Yeah.
like, first big kind of industry thing to end up leaving E3, which was upsetting. I mean, and there, but, certainly with the other things, I think even in E3 without PlayStation it was still rather interesting. I think for the most part, I was still able to, I still had that same feeling. It's not like it completely ruined it or anything. So I'm certainly excited. I think for next year. Um,
Yeah, me too.
and who knows? Maybe on a week in June next year, Mike, we can make a trip. Who knows?
I'm totally down for that actually. That'd be pretty sick.
Hey, it would be pretty
But
sick.
but something that I feel the coolest thing about E3 that I think people are missing out on when they call these things off is like when you have you and your friends sitting down and watching it, you're all experiencing it at the same time. It's kind of like seeing a premiere of a movie, you know?
Yeah,
It's just like it's something that you could use for like community involvement.
yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying. Like it's at the end of the day, it's an event, and like I try to do that
yeah.
with I try to get some friends, and like watch like if like game awards and stuff like that come on. It's fun to watch with people, so I try to do like something like that every time a gaming event comes on because I know my boys like it too. So it's like it's
Yep.
something I certainly glad they're gonna keep doing it and they're not just giving up on it. I mean, I think if they were to give up on it though, like there'd be enough backlash where they would bring it back anyway. Like
Yeah,
like I feel like there'd be an
yeah.
uproar. I don't know.
Dude, there's definitely a market for this. So it's just a matter of how big it's going to be. Because like if they disband completely, somebody's going to take the spot. Like
Yeah, probably.
like even if it's like an indie like convention or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we already see that, to a certain extent with the, like the state of plays from Sony and like Xbox
Mhm.
doing their, events, even at like Gamescoms, I know huge for Xbox, like they still have a lot of opportunity throughout the year and Nintendo does directs now. They don't like they
Yeah,
don't
they
forget about
did.
it. It's like, I mean,
Blog
I-
post.
yeah, right. Like I don't mind it, but at the same time I still like being excited for an event. And like I feel
Yeah.
like the year-round news cycle kind of like gets rid of a lot of that excitement. So the fact that this isn't going away makes me very happy.
Dude, with the whole pandemic going on, man, like every event in my town, I don't know about if it's for you, but every single event is selling out. Like, I've never seen
Yeah.
so many people interested in going out. Maybe it's like the excess money that they had like saving the last couple of years, or just like people are just dying to be around other humans.
Yeah. That's
And
definitely
I
it.
mean, like gamers, I mean, we're kind of like a little bit antisocial. We keep to ourselves sometimes. I mean, there are outliers over there, but like these events where you get to actually go and be a part of a community that thinks the same thing you think and like believes the same way you believe, like how games are. We need this,
Yeah. I mean, we
So
do.
we
Yeah.
need it. So
That's part of it too. That's why I get excited for this stuff. Um, but yeah, so they're definitely gonna have the physical event next year, though. I don't think there's gonna be. At
Yeah, yeah, makes
least I
sense. Yeah,
certainly am hoping there's no reason to cancel it. So it's it'll be interesting to see how they reinvigorate the showcase too, because I think this gives them an opportunity to kind of take a step back. Because I know it was kind of like
hmm
for a while it was just kind of the same thing, kind of getting stale. So, um, but nevertheless, even if it just came back as the same thing, I would still watch it and still enjoy it. So, however they do it, however they reinvigorate things, I'm excited for whatever. So kind of bad news, but kind of good news.
yeah,
Um, all around. Intel is back in the game, Mike.
yes, they are.
Want to know? You
They
want to know how
back
the
out here.
back in it, baby? They are. They just recently showed off. They kind of, I would say, announced their first Arc desktop GPU. That is right. Intel is coming
Yeah,
out with a GPU. It's coming this summer 2022, as a limited edition release, according to The Verge. Pull this article from. There's also a YouTube video on it. I can even play as we see, but um I am very excited for this. There's not, from what I can see, there's not too many details on it yet. They haven't announced too much. But I mean, just the fact that Intel's getting back in the GPU market, I mean, that's exciting to
th-
me.
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
It really is.
it's a huge deal, man. I think it's cool to see Nvidia and AMD, but Nvidia has just been so dominant. It's like, and I'm, it's there's always a possibility it could just kind of be like another AMD card where it just kind of like sits on the back burner. Although some of their newer cards have been really good. Um, it's not to say AMD makes bad GPUs by any means, but you can see the Intel Arc. I like the design; looks sleek. It's very sleek. The Arc
Yeah, it's
graphics,
actually
yeah,
it's a good looking card.
yeah, for sure. They I guess the Arc is kind of gonna be their new line. But yeah, so it actually the article discusses a little bit about it. The Arc GPU is actually debuted in laptops this week. It's kind of where it's making its first waves. The desktop version will come out this summer. There's a couple things as well. On the image of the card, you can see that there are 3 display ports and 1 HDMI on the back for your display needs. That's all that's in there. But there's also yeah, so it says here there's powerful Arc 5 and Arc 7 laptop GPU. So it's kind of, I guess they're kind of going the 357, the typical kind of hierarchy. Um so yeah, fortunately not too much to report right now. I wish there was more, but it's kind of just like this is a thing. It's coming out in the summer, and Intel's back in the GPU market. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, it's kind of interesting to see the switch all of a sudden. I think it might have something to do with AMD basically taking over a bit of a chip market. Not all of it, obviously, until kind of king of that. But
Yeah,
I mean, AMD also makes graphics cards, so I feel like this is them getting back in to be like, hey, listen, we'll also compete with you on GPUs too.
yeah,
So it's like now you got NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD. That's gonna be sick.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm actually looking forward to the breakdown of this by a bunch of tech YouTubers
Oh,
to
for
like
sure.
see how it actually performs. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, if I had to predict, I feel like, at least from just looking at the form factor alone, I feel as though it's going to be kind of, in terms of competition with other cards right now. I think it's going to kind of be mid tier. That's kind of, I think, what they're going for to kind of
yeah,
start. Just kind of see if they can make a mid tier card. It certainly isn't going to top like the 3090 Ti, the newest card that Nvidia announced, but I think it's going to do. It'll certainly, hopefully, compete with some of the mid tier cards, for sure. I think that's kind of a good spot to enter, kind of, into the market.
hey, speaking of GPUs, did you hear or see the GPUs with SSDs on them now?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, there's a new line of GPUs coming out, I believe by Nvidia, and it might actually be the 3090 Ti, but don't don't definitely fact check me on that. So the concept is that there's an SSD on the actual graphics card that enables the game, like it's pretty much for gamers or rendering processes, to speed up exponentially. Like you can be way faster with loading up games, rendering, and everything. It's like pretty revolutionary, and it's only a matter of time until games re-engineer their engines to work for that specific new technology.
Oh yeah.
I literally just heard about it like last week, so let me do some research and then we can report back on it. But
Yeah, for sure.
it it looks super innovative, and I'm bringing that up because it's like Intel isn't a bad company. They got a bunch of money. They have good engineers. I wonder if they're going to try to implement that type of process into
Yeah.
their game or their GPUs.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope so, right? Especially if it's a new technology. They may not be able to get it on this version. I guess on
Right.
this kind of version of the card, but yeah, certainly in the future. Um, yeah, I mean, I think any way to kind of any way to assist, I think, just graphical performance in general, or just
Hmm.
game performance in general. I think especially without the need of having to like get an extra like SSD just to run a game quicker, because that's like been a big thing, especially the past couple of years. Is just like like hard drives are great. Don't get me wrong, but it's like games just benefit so much more, especially in load times from an SSD, and like especially in battle royales. Like I remember PUBG was like it was the first game I really noticed this in. Like back when I first got my PC, is like loading into the game was so much quicker on an SSD, and like it gave you
Yes.
advantage, like literal advantage. Like it's crazy.
Yes. But
So
for people that listen to us that are on console, especially on the Xbox One, you can actually get yourselves an external SSD and an external hard drive as long as you have a USB 3.0, and you can put your games on there and it'll load faster than the default hard drive in the console.
yep,
So definitely keep that in mind if you guys are having problems. And like, I don't know how much the SSD prices go for, but I know like they can't be that expensive. Get like a 500 gigabyte one, not 500 gigabyte, 500 megabyte, like 1 gig. Be all right.
yeah,
Or wait, no, that's the opposite ratio. Sorry, 500 gig, 1 terabyte.
there you
There we go. So yeah, I was
go.
like, you can't. What are you doing? Downloading pictures? Like,
Yeah.
sorry about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, there are options out there. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's another good point. Like back in like that was probably the first time I really noticed like load times could change on like those different hard drives, because
oh
I had the
yeah,
VCR Xbox One, and like you hook up a better hard drive, not even SSD, just a better hard drive to that thing, like a
yeah,
Seagate, and like it was
yeah,
instantly noticeable. It's like crazy.
yeah. It's sick.
It's just
Yeah, USB 3.0 though. That's the only
yeah,
requirement.
yeah, exactly. You gotta make sure you get all the speeds.
Yeah,
Or like
tabs
Thunderbolt,
were.
what is it, USB-C Thunderbolt? If you really want to spend a little
Yeah,
extra. I mean, you could, I guess, but
you'd be all right. I know. Slept on brand. We are not sponsored, although if they hear this, Seabrent. I think that's what it's called. Sabrent? Sabrent. Sabreant. They're like usually server hard drives and SSDs.
yeah.
Super cheap, super fast, and like big spaces. Yeah, totally
So,
utilize.
huh.
Research it.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of them. I'll have to research for sure.
Mhm. Slept on. We'll need yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so Intel's gonna be
But
back in the GPU race, or maybe it's their first one. I don't know. I've heard multiple things. I don't know what's true, but that's nevertheless Intel GPU this summer. Next story. Next thing to move on
yes, sir.
to. This has been a developing story, I'd say, for the past couple of weeks. Something we were certainly going to cover if we had a show last week. We're certainly going to cover it, so I'm glad we can now.
Yeah.
While it's still relevant. Fortnite is introducing their zero build mode permanently into the game. I guess a little over 2 weeks now. At the start of the new season, Fortnite introduced a zero build. They essentially took out building from the game entirely, from their base game. They
Yeah.
introduced zero build, and for the most part, I think maybe like especially most of what I've seen on Twitter is like very positive feedback about this. Like everyone's excited, everyone's back in the game.
Yeah.
Like there's especially from pro players, like ex pro players too, that like kind of quit Fortnite. They see this new mode that's I saw Ninja, like he put out a poll that was like I think 80% the people voted to keep
Yeah.
building out of Fortnite. Like it was like a lot of
That's
votes.
it's crazy.
Yeah, and I saw another pro, Benji Fishy. He responded to that poll tweet, kind of justifying why they should do no build going forward, like why he voted for it. And it's just it was to the point, and I completely agree, of like the game has gotten too sweaty for these builders. You know what I mean? Like people that have been still grinding the game, it's like you can't get on and have fun because like you're just gonna get like 90 and 180 and
Yeah.
built on. Like it's ridiculous. And I can speak from experience because my friends and I have been playing recently. It was no fun, man. But anyway, I pulled this article from The Verge. It's been around everywhere. They introduced Zero Build to all of the current playlists: solo, duo, trio, squad. They've introduced that into the game, and the building, as of right now, is not in the game. And I don't think they've announced when they're bringing that back. So they may bring it back soon, maybe a while, but as it stands right now, there is no building in Fortnite, Mike. What do you think? Have you played? Have you tried it at all yet?
Man, when I heard it, I thought it was a joke, and found out it wasn't a joke. Immediately went to update the game, and then I kid you not, like the mood I was in for some reason, I was just like, I just want to play a story mode. So that's when I played Cyberpunk 2077. Then I didn't really touch gaming at all. Like aside from like a random pickup tournament that I did in Halo, it was like that was it.
No.
So I need to play Fortnite. That's gonna be the next game I play. I'm really excited. Like you said, we've seen nothing but positive feedback from literally everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single person that's just like, it's awful. We need to put building back in the game.
Yeah,
And
for
even
sure.
then, it's like they're gonna add it back, of course.
Yeah.
You gotta switch it up. That's the whole point of Fortnite. That's what they've been doing since day one. They're just like, yeah, well, we're just switch this up. Let's add Spider-Man in or Thanos. It's like add now you can watch. They also last week we didn't. I don't think we covered this. I think this happened the week of your vacation, and it was the Rocket League Championship Series was doing a tournament, and they put an arena inside of Fortnite so you could watch the stream on Fortnite.
That's
You
pretty
could be
sick.
in the game watching the projection screen with other people.
Dude, that is so sick.
Yeah, it's like they're always innovating. It's like that's awesome.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
live service game that doesn't say they're a live service game. It's so sick.
Yeah, I mean that's ever since Fortnite started, right? Ever since they
Mhm.
started, it's been straight up just like a change, what feels like almost every week, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's been nonstop. And so the fact that they just decided, hey, like let's just get rid of building. Let's see how this game plays with get rid of building. They added sprint as well. So like it's kind of like sort of like COD. I try to allude to that even though it's, probably different. Um like they added sprint, they added kind of an overshield on top of any shield you may have. So like you can't just
That's
get
pretty
beamed out
sick.
in 2 seconds, like if you're just running out in the open. They've added stuff to kind of they've also added some quality of life stuff. So it's like, hey, since we're getting rid of building, like let's make sure like people can't die instantly, or if they get caught out in the open, they have a second to react and kind of like figure out what they want to do. So they've adjusted that, and they added tanks as well, which tanks were kind of crazy. They have since added, I know in the last update they added an anti-tank missile, like a rocket, so
Nice.
you can kind of combat that better. But they also have like steel barriers, like we just showed in the trailer or whatever. They have like steel barriers that you can set down, and like it takes a lot to destroy them, so it gives you nice cover when you're out in the open. You can just plop up a barrier and you instantly have cover, and it has a decent amount of health too, so it's not just gonna break right away. They've certainly thought about that stuff, and I know from the few games I've played of Zero Build, there was one time where I was really caught out in the open, and it would have been nice to have a barrier, and like I instantly like realized the importance of that item that they added. I'm like, oh, okay, well it
Yeah.
makes sense now. You should probably carry one of those on you if you can. They've really thought it through. They didn't just remove building and that was it. It was very calculated. So they went in with intent. They made it right. But yeah, I really think just give it a shot whenever you can. So a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
I definitely will. I need somebody to play with me. So if you're down, get
All right.
you, and then we'll drag in Mr. Kyle, and we'll get it going. Or Mr. Nick, sorry, you're Kyle.
Get called Kyle Nick. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, but the gameplay and everything like that. I mean, dude, it looks like It just looks sick. It
Yeah.
looks like a third person point of view of Apex. Like it looks nice.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it pretty much is. You know, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm definitely down to play some. Uh, we gotta play something. You know, we always talk about playing
Yeah,
stuff, Mike, and it
it's
just
been
doesn't
a
happen. You
minute,
know.
dude. It's been a minute. We gotta play Fortnite. We gotta play Sea of Thieves. We gotta play the cycle. I got
Yeah.
bopped playing by myself. I need friends.
Need need crew.
Need to play with Spartan Boomer, aka good shout out for Spartan Boomer. We have uh a guest episode coming out this Monday,
Yeah, Monday the
April
4th,
3rd.
I
Is it third or
think.
fourth? Fourth. You're right.
Yes,
Fourth, April
4th.
4th, Monday, April 4th. So if you're listening to this by the end of the weekend, Monday, um, Spartan Boomer
We got
is our guest.
that fresh guest content coming for you.
Yep, yep,
You already know.
yep. Anyways,
So
so
some good news, you know. Some
mhm.
good to know that Fortnite's still doing big things, making big changes, and receiving positive reception for said changes. They're still doing it, man. They're the kings of it. I feel like of kind of a live service
Yeah,
that just change it up and make
they don't
waves.
miss.
You know, they're still making waves. It's
Like,
20. You have to think. I mean, 2018 was when this game popped off, right? I mean, it's 4 years,
yeah,
like, and they're still making waves and they're still relevant. It blows my
dude.
mind.
I was one of the day oneers. I should have stayed with it. Should have streamed it, bro. My life would be different right now. Nah, there's no knowing. But yeah, like it's been around for a while. They keep it fresh, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's so sick.
gotta
So
admire, it,
sick.
man.
I don't know anybody that can hate Fortnite, you know?
Yeah,
Like truly, I know people that just don't like playing the game, whatever, for building really.
yeah.
But it's like, dude, it's sick.
You can't knock
So
Fortnite. You just can't. Like, I get you
yeah,
don't like if you don't like the game, you don't like the game, whatever. Like, you
yeah.
can't deny the impact it's had on the industry over the past like 3 years. You just can't.
Fortnite, Fortnite, Drake, and Ninja made it okay for us to talk about gaming openly.
Telling you, man.
That's the facts. That's the
Oh man,
facts.
and just think about it, Mike. With Unreal 5 around the corner,
Oh yeah. Hit me with it.
God, it get better, bro. It's only gonna get
It's
better.
gonna get even better.
I'm
It's way too
excited.
realistic.
I'm excited. But look, I'm also excited for something else. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Hit us with the
Legend,
next topic.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. But in unfortunate news, it's been delayed till 2023.
That's
Nintendo
okay. I haven't
apologized.
finished the first one.
Yeah, I haven't either, so you already know. You already know. Nintendo apologizes for the change in date and shows off a tiny bit of new footage. I don't know if we have that video here.
Is
Kind of
it hitting you with an
showcasing
advertisement?
this is pulled this article from IGN. IGN's great, but like the video interface, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, apology from I guess one of the directors, and then they
There
kind
you
of
go.
show off some. Well, let's start back from the beginning. They show off a little bit of gameplay, kind of.
Yeah, looks like you got Link flying from the sky. The graphics still looking clutch.
Oh yeah. Whoa, he just warped
Um,
through the floor.
yeah,
That was very
yeah,
interesting.
warping through the floor. It's like it's a little bit more magic into it,
Nice
and
shadows. Okay. Sword.
Link
Oh,
looking very tribal. I think would be a
yeah.
good term.
What a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's like his shirt's beat up. It's off to the side, kinda. He's got like tats that look like brandings almost, like very
Yeah.
rigid. It's kind of
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
My man's looking tough.
For sure, for sure. Again, not too much, I don't think, to go in depth on. I think overall for me, I'm certainly not surprised it got delayed.
Yeah,
It's a from what I can see, it's pretty ambitious. It's a sequel to Breath of the Wild, one of the most like insanely like crazy open worlds that um personally I didn't expect at the time to do well, and then it just like it's Breath of the Wild. Like it's
dude,
referenced
bro.
so much. It's like
So, something I just recently learned is a lot of people, old school heads that are listening right now, might get a little bit triggered, but it might be the truth. Okay, Breath of the Wild is high, like it's even higher rated than Ocarina of Time now.
yeah.
It's like highly beloved by everybody that's ever played it. So if you haven't gotten on that train yet, you need to, and you got
Yeah.
until 2023 because the train is coming. You need to
Yeah,
catch it, all right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
but I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna get any types of leaks with Breath of the Wild too? Because in my experience of like following Nintendo, they keep that thing locked.
Yeah, they do keep
There's
it.
like nobody knows nothing.
Yeah, at least for me, at least for me. Like I don't follow it super closely, but like it's not bad enough to the point where I'm seeing it. And if I'm seeing it, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Like if I'm seeing a leak, it's like all right, it's out there. It's not not hidden. I don't know. I mean, maybe I like. I guess there's no telling at the end of the day, like what will leak and what won't. I guess it just depends on I think especially like Japanese developers are like they're pretty private and like they're not they
Yeah.
I think most leaks you see are from like US based studios, like not to knock US, but like hey, we got some
Yeah.
crazy
We
interns,
love
I'll
the
just say that.
leaks.
Like no, like we got some crazy people over here, but yeah, I mean I'm certainly excited for it. I'm sure there's probably not going to be hardly any leaks if at all, and it's exciting to see some gameplay as well. Kind of a little, it wasn't much, but it's kind of just like, hey, we're working on it. Kind of like thing. We're
Yeah.
not gonna give too much away yet, and I'm sure there's gonna be some massive direct with 10 minutes gameplay, like either late this year or early next year. So we'll certainly see more
Yeah.
on it at some point. But
Yeah.
not too much to report. I mean, it got delayed. It is what it is. It's
I'm
I
not even
think.
mad.
Yeah, I think when a lot of games get delayed, I think overall it's positive reception, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse saying that, but it's just like that is just the truth. Like, we there's the gaming industry, we get a lot of like, needless to say, a lot of crap like that just comes out of devs
Yeah.
for like not delaying games, not taking time, not polishing, and not realizing the vision. So when a game, it takes a lot for a developer to say, okay, we need a little more time. We need to make sure we do this right. It takes a lot of courage to like do that. So I
It
always
really
commend it.
I feel like ironically, Breath of the Wild, it's like a breath of fresh air, man.
Hmm.
Just to like hear a dev say like we're not where we need to be and we can't sell this game in like good conscience.
Yeah.
So like we don't deserve the money that you guys would put up. So just here's the deal. Give us some more time. We apologize. They take the heat if there's heat for it. But it's like, come on, man. When has like when when was the last time like what was the worst Legend of Zelda game, honestly?
I
Like
don't
when was the
know.
last time you played a bad Legend of Zelda game?
It's a good question.
Like, the only time I remember outrage for Legend of Zelda was Wind Waker, and everybody was upset with how it looked, and then they played it, and they were like, "It's a good game." You
Like,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's a good game. Like,
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
know, maybe there's something that I'm forgetting, but like Skyward Sword, man, that thing hit. So it did.
Twilight
Like,
Princess, bro, are you kidding?
dude, Twilight Princess, sheesh.
Oh,
But
gosh.
what I'm saying is if you're a reputable developer that creates consistent good content, people are way more patient with you when
Oh
you come
yeah.
out and you have like the delay, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we gotta postpone this, we got it wrong, we got a delay, you know? But if you do it 2, 3 times in a row of 3 different games, 4 different games, it's like they're coming after your head on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah, dude.
No
I
mercy.
mean, Exhibit A, from software. It's one of those things. If a
Yeah.
game gets delayed, it's like, all right, fine, I'm chilling, like I'm good, like you take your time,
Yeah.
and then it comes out. Probably best game of the year was Elden Ring,
Yeah.
like crazy, easy game of the year contender, and it's only 2 months into the year,
Yeah,
Oh,
facts.
crazy man. But yeah, that's it. Breath of the Wild 2 next year.
Mhm.
Hopefully it doesn't get another delay, but we'll see. We'll give them the time they
Yeah.
need. But you know what Nintendo IP is not getting delayed, Mike? And you know what comes out in a
Oh.
month? Oh
Oh, it's
baby,
it's sports,
it's
baby.
the Switch
It's
Sports, baby.
sports.
Switch Sports, dude. Switch Sports. There was an overview trailer that came out this week, detailing
Yep.
a lot of the games that'll be kind of going into a little more detail outside of the games as well. Kind of that'll be available, like badminton, soccer, bowling, whatnot. There's the sword one. I forget the proper name for it. But there's tennis as
Fencing?
well. No, it's that like it starts with a C. They'll say it, I think. But I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm just like I see gameplay of this. I'm just more and more excited for it. Um, it's just God, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't imagine. I'm just
I'm
imagining like getting friends on and just like having like
I
6 people, just
taking it.
like, oh, so good. But
My
yeah,
friends will 100% take this seriously.
mhm, as you should. I mean, as you should. It's just seeing like seeing because like they have tennis and then they have badminton. And I'm like, well, like, why wouldn't you just play tennis? But then I see badminton, I'm like, this is like casual, like very laid back. I feel like it's not super crazy.
Right.
So like, oh man, so it still looks fun. Even badminton, they make it look fun. And of course, bowling, very interesting thing. They'll show it in the gameplay here. There's going to be bowling, but there's also going to be like challenges and variations on it. Like you see, there's a ramp here with like a gap on the alley, and then there's one that
Yeah.
has like moving barricades, and you have to try and block and move the ball around the barricades. There's like different challenges. Oh man, dude, just just like I can see how annoyed my friends are gonna get. It just makes me laugh. Like, oh, so good. And like soccer's like human Rocket League. It's so crazy.
Like, I am so beyond excited to do this. And one of the things that like it for us as like we do like stream on Twitch and stuff like this, but like really we're more active in like the Twitch community with like and like just help supporting creators, you and I.
Yeah,
This is gonna be so good for them. And it's gonna be good for us to like play and watch.
yeah, for
Dude, I'm
sure.
already thinking about this. Like my camera, some people are like watching this, just listening only, but I can use this camera and go ultra wide lens. I'm gonna like mount it up. You'll be able to see me. I'll like move everything out of the way, and I'm just gonna get way too into it. Just like
As you
totally
should.
troll. Yeah,
Yeah,
but this game, like, dude, it looks so good. I hope the
dude. Like,
hope there's
let
no
me just.
latency or issues like that. But
Yeah, true. Let me back it up here. This is that game I was talking about.
yeah,
Chambara, I
yeah,
think is what it is. And it's essentially,
Chambara.
yeah, Chambara. You're on like a platform, and it's just like foam sword fighting. And there's like, it's so cool because you see there's a charged sword and then there's twin swords. You could pull out two swords and just like do these crazy moves. Like it blows my mind. Like watch this. Look at this insane finishing move right here. He like does a
Yeah, front
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 flip
flip,
into the double
double
slash.
attack.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm way too excited for this.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm more excited for. Wii S Wii Sport or sorry, not Wii Sports, Switch Sports. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. Or Mario
Mario Golf.
Mario it's not golf,
It's not.
soccer.
Oh yeah, the strikers
The
because that's coming out
soccer
in June,
strikers,
right?
strikers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's in
that's
like
coming out
June, isn't
soon.
it? Oh man,
Oh yeah.
this
Oh
is the
yeah.
year of the sports games for Switch, and
But
it's hitting.
my man, this is the best year for gaming, I tell you right now. I don't care what anybody says. Everything got postponed last year. Everything's coming out this year except for Legend of Zelda The Wild 2. Um but, but it's gonna hit, man. Like this
Oh,
is
dude,
so sick.
it's just gonna be so much fun to play. God, it's like Wii Sports was such like a such a staple for the Wii, and that this is I feel like it's
Oh
gonna be such
yeah.
a staple for the Switch. Took them a while to get there, but they're getting there, and it looks fun. Like I said,
Yeah.
the only thing I can hope is there's like no bad latency. I'm just praying there's no
Yeah.
bad latency, but we'll see.
I mean, for sure, this is gonna be like a console, a typical console. You're gonna be able to play this in your living room with friends.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's gonna be no latency there, which will
Right?
still be
Yeah.
awesome. But if you could play it online, I mean, Mario Kart's not bad.
Yeah.
So why would this be bad, you know?
That's a
Um,
good point.
yeah, the cool thing is for people that aren't watching, we're just showing like a bunch of different segments, but one of the things that they pinpointed was using the Wii what are they called? Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
Like there's a strap to put it on your thigh so you can kick your leg to kick the ball. It's
Yeah.
like what in the
Yeah.
world?
That comes. Yeah, it says it's available with a physical copy. But I guess if you really wanted to, I mean, tape exists, right? I mean, you could just like tape it on your
Yeah.
leg, like if you really wanted
Yeah.
to.
Oh
But
man.
oh.
I'm for sure duct taping it to me.
They also mentioned a rank system, which is interesting. Uh,
Yeah, they did. They did show that. Yeah,
if
the
any of my friends get E, I'm
leaderboards.
making fun of them. I'm sorry. Like, there's E, D,
Yeah.
C, B, and A. If you get E, like,
Yeah.
Discord's gonna be
You,
crazy. Just saying.
yeah. You might as well be silver, honestly.
Hey, might as
Get
well.
that out of here.
Jeez, like iron rank, dude. It's bad. Um,
I know there's some single players right now. They're just like, come on, man. Why you have to do me like that?
but there is character customization in
Yes.
this as well, which is really nice. You can kind of I know it's not. Oh, well, okay. So I guess it kind of is linked to Mii's. You can bring a Mii in, but you can also kind of go with their more kind of modern character customization. So you can certainly get creative with it. And there's even outfits for you can unlock outfits.
Yes.
This is it.
You know,
This is it. This is it.
I know this is like a sports thing. You need to be like humanoid characters, but like I kind of want to be like different characters from like the Nintendo universe.
True.
You know what I mean? That'd be pretty sick. Come in there as Link,
Could you imagine?
or like Kirby, dude. Mess people up in Kirby doing
Oh,
badminton.
be Waluigi, just lanky, just like
Yeah.
not missing the volleyball. God,
Oh, there's so much potential.
I
I love
know,
it.
dude.
It's
There
gonna be
really
cool though.
is so much potential. I'm super excited for this. April 29th. Mark your calendars. I think
Facts.
I'm actually gonna be on vacation then. Kind of unfortunate, but that next week I'll certainly be playing.
Well, guess who's not gonna be on vacation? This guy.
You already know. You already know. All right.
You already know what I'm doing.
Oh man,
All right.
super excited for Nintendo stuff. A lot of things coming. But there is a I consider this like the top story almost of the week. This is something I was very much looking forward to. PlayStation has finally launched their new and improved PlayStation Plus membership. A lot of people have been waiting to some sort of response to Game Pass. There's been rumors about it for months now about what Sony's going to do to try and compete with Game Pass on the Xbox side. They have a response to it. I have a feeling it's not what everyone's looking for, not everyone's expecting of a response. Certainly not a bad model, I don't think. It's definitely got more to be desired. But anyways, we'll get into the details. The brand new PlayStation Plus will launch in June with 700 plus games and more that will be available to play at the higher tiers. So essentially, those that don't know, there are going to be 3 tiers that you can opt into in the new PlayStation Plus membership. It kind of threw me off at first because I figured they were going to call it something else. I didn't think they were going to call it PlayStation Plus. But I mean, it's kind of smart. I guess they just stick with the naming scheme. Like, they don't try and change it because, it's not like...
Just expand upon it.
Yeah.
Makes it easier branding.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be 3 tiers to PlayStation Plus now. Excuse me. There's going to be PlayStation Plus Essential, which is going to be their $10 a month US. 25 a quarter, 60 a year. Kind of from what it seems like, the benefits they include, it's pretty much the PlayStation Plus membership we have now. You can opt in $60 a year. You get your 2-month downloadable exclusives. You get discounts. You get cloud storage, and online multiplayer access. It's literally what PlayStation Plus was. The 2 tiers after that is where it gets interesting. They have a PlayStation Plus Extra tier, which is $15 a month, 40 a quarter, and 100 a year. This provides all the benefits of the PlayStation Plus service we have now. However, it also adds a catalog of up to 400. They have a little asterisk around 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. So, essentially, they're kind of just taking, at least the way I'm interpreting it, is they're kind of taking the PlayStation Now, at least some of it, not all of it. They're going to take a lot of the PlayStation Now stuff and just kind of throw it into PlayStation Plus. So now you'll be able to stream and play all these different games. So that is not the final tier, though. The final tier is PlayStation Plus Premium, which is $18 a month. So not that big of a jump from the second tier. It's only a few bucks. $50 a quarter or $120 a year. This provides all the benefits of essential and extra tiers. It also adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming. A catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options for the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. It offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tiers and markets. PlayStation Now is currently available. Customers can stream games using the PS4 or PS5 consoles and PC. Time limited, and the last point here, which is I've heard some mixed feelings of, is a time limited game trials are also going to be offered at the premium tier, so customers can try select games before they buy them. So I'll probably back up on the statement I said before. It seems like PlayStation, like, they're offering additional games that you can play at the extra tier, and you can, I guess, play them. You get that catalog and you can play them on console, but it's not the cloud streaming service like PlayStation Now, kind of like where you can
Yeah.
actually play games on PC. That's only available in the premium tier. But I mean, I think it's I think it's I think it was good of them to only bump it up by what, $3 a month if you pay monthly, and you get
Yeah.
like the whole catalog and PlayStation Now. And I've heard kind of mixed things about it. I mean, certainly people have said, definitely doesn't hit as hard as Game Pass. I mean, it's pretty hard to compete with Game Pass, if we're being honest. Like, it's, who knows if we'll ever see a competition. I hope one day we do, but we never know. But it certainly is an upgrade, I think, for the current PlayStation Plus membership. If you have one of those consoles, if you have the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, or if you have the PC, you can get the premium tier and start playing games on your PC. So there's certainly stuff there. Again, the time limited trials, we can talk about that. I also saw some another downside, an unfortunate downside of this is, and where Game Pass really shines here, is that the cloud streaming stuff is not available on mobile at all. At least not right now.
Yeah.
xCloud, of course, you could play on any mobile device, but that's certainly something lacking from this new offering from Sony. What are your overall thoughts, Mike? I know you're not like super into the PlayStation market, but I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're a little bit too late to compete with Xbox, and because they're trying to do a direct comparison with the Xbox Game Pass and the Ultimate Game Pass. I feel like it's just you're not going to hit the same anymore because of all the different studios that Xbox has underneath their umbrella. I think Sony is going the wrong direction with this. I think they need to be pairing up. I've talked about this multiple times now. I feel like they need to be grabbing PS4, PS5, and making it streaming compatible with every Sony TV.
Yeah,
And they should go 100% into the home theater market because I all they have now, in my viewpoint, this is going to upset a lot of Sony like diehard fans. Is I think they only have their single player exclusive games. Like that's really all they got going on for me. I mean, they do have arguably the best controllers on the market, like speed wise, comfort if you get used to it. I mean, some people can't adapt, but like they're good controllers. Um, but I mean, overall, man, all they got for me is like the like God of Wars, you know? Like
yeah.
I don't know. How about you? Where are you at?
Yeah, I think overall it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely an upgrade for the original subscription service. I think comparing it to Game Pass, there's no contest. Like Game Pass is Game
Yeah.
Pass. You're not gonna like it doesn't, like, they would have to pull some seriously like crazy stuff if they were to even come close, I feel. I mean, because we're talking, I mean, this is $18 a month and you get like PlayStation Now, which is great. It's only available on console and PC.
Mhm.
It's only like it's only, I think, 700 games like total roughly. I mean, and which is great, don't get me wrong, but it's like Game Pass Ultimate is 15 and you get streaming on all your devices and you get access to like a bunch of new IPs that Microsoft has acquired. I mean,
Yeah.
once Activision Blizzard goes through, I mean, that's like good luck trying to anybody trying to compete with that. That's so I mean, I can appreciate them going for it. I think it's certainly an improvement, but I mean, value wise, unless you are really embedded in the PlayStation ecosystem, there's just no reason
Yeah.
to really get it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
um,
Like you
um,
gotta love PlayStation.
yeah, you do. I mean, I will also give them kudos here too. They said they're offering PlayStation Plus Deluxe in select markets. This is markets that don't have access to cloud streaming. So it kind of gives like it gives a it's offered at a lower price compared to this. I think kind of at the um kind of at the extra, I guess, like the extra tier level. Since you don't have cloud streaming, obviously they don't get like a lot of those benefits. So they offer all the games that are available just to play as if it was extra. Um, So definitely they're definitely considering all they're definitely taking into account a lot of the countries that still don't have cloud streaming available. Um so
Sure.
kudos there, but I don't know. It's certainly exciting. I think I'm definitely glad that they're trying to make it's this is like one of the millions and millions of reasons why I love the fact that Game Pass is a thing, because it requires these
Yeah.
other people to compete. And even if it's not the greatest thing ever, like consumers are getting a better product here. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's like
that's actually that's a good way to look at it right now. I mean, who knows if this would ever happen without Game Pass?
yeah,
Because
probably
there
would.
was like no incentive beforehand. So this is actually like if you have a PlayStation, that's all you got. It's like this is actually a pretty good value. If
Yeah,
you game all the time and you want to play like more games for like a cheaper value,
yeah,
um, I mean it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
yeah. I mean, if you have PS5 too, and you want to harness that power, because there's not really too many
Yeah.
games that you can get like especially cheap. So it's like you can definitely get more use out of a PS5 if you got that just
Hmm.
sitting on your TV stand. You're a couch gamer. Get some
Yep.
use out of it. It's cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. It's hard to compete with Game Pass. I knew they probably couldn't do it, at least not right now, but we're getting a better product at the end of the day. So, big ups to Sony. 700 plus games. 700 plus. I mean, a lot of games. Don't get me wrong, right? But yeah, I don't know.
All right, all right.
Obviously,
Let me. I'm just gonna do this, okay?
I mean,
How many games on Xbox Game Pass?
I guess I'll have to see what's offered too out of those 700 games because there's probably some bangers in there. There's got to be some bangers in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, they got all the throwbacks. I'm sure of that. 456 results on console for the Game Pass, and 420 for PC.
Hmm.
So maybe they do have more, but it's also it just comes down to what you're into, really.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of
Ultimately,
the day, that's it. I mean,
yeah.
Xbox can
That
say one thing though. I mean, any of their games can be played on a mobile device. So,
yeah. Also, one of the things that isn't included in this list are EA, like the EA Play.
oh yeah,
Um, and they partner with somebody else. Dude, they pretty much partner with everybody at this point. Um, but yeah, there's more than just 4 or 500.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, I mean the Spider-Man trilogy. I mean, Death Stranding, God of War. Like,
yeah.
what else is there? Mortal Kombat is an exclusive.
It's
So
Bloodborne. There's that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's
I
like
thought you were about to say Mortal Shell, but I don't think it's a PlayStation game.
yeah, but like PlayStation has good single player games.
Yeah,
Like that's what
that's
I think
where
their brand is.
that's where they shine.
Yeah,
Certainly.
and you can't knock them for that at all. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
ever.
they still
So
very much have a place in the industry, and
oh
I
yeah, I'm
definitely
not
don't want
saying they're
to. I
dead.
definitely don't want to see them leave anytime soon, especially with like all those single player first party heavy hitters are just there
Mhm.
for Sony. So that's why I never want to see it go. It's
Dude,
got the
I'm
IPs.
telling that TV with the PlayStation in it, when that happens, because it's going to. If like I need to talk to their marketing team or something, their engineering team, because that needs to happen. I will buy a Sony TV the moment it releases. The moment. Like I wouldn't even hesitate. Get that. I'll get the Sony theater mode. Like the theater mode. Their entire home theater like collection that you can do the like the bass and like side speakers and everything like that.
Home entertainment.
It's yeah, home
Uh,
entertainment, yeah. I'll
I
have
mean,
everything. All Sony brand
yeah,
can
I
do that.
mean, I think my only counterpoint to that is like, as a content creator, like trying to stream from a giant TV may not be ideal. That's my draw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of so you kind of like, I guess the market of like content creation you can't really get into with that. I mean, if you put a PS5
That's
in it, it'll sell though, because PS5, but
yeah, one side argument for that though is if you're a content creator, you should have a PC.
yeah, I mean, you
So
should
just saying. Makes it
definitely
easier.
should.
Or
Um,
a laptop. Or a
so
Mac, whatever you're into.
I mean, Mac
Anyways.
questionable anyway. Yeah, so um. And not to diss on Macs, right? Macs are great for like filmmaking and developing and all that. They're as a
we
place, gaming not quite there yet. Hopefully it gets there, but not
we
quite there.
covered them not too long ago, like 2 episodes ago.
Mac Studio, yes sir.
Yeah, Mac Studio. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's a
Yeah,
beast, man.
we had good things to say.
Yeah,
So we're not
they
hating.
definitely got a place. Just saying. I mean, we talked about the new PlayStation service. I wanted to also touch on Game Pass. I have heard a lot of new
Yeah.
rumblings as well. I think last week, they talked about they presented some stats at GDC that is no surprise to me because Game Pass is Game Pass. They had some interesting findings. I pulled this article from Enemy. I saw it elsewhere though. But at GDC 2022, Microsoft released Game Pass stats, which suggest the service users try out more games than those who aren't subscribed. Makes sense. I think it's definitely makes sense. There is, I think the biggest thing though are these graphics that were posted through Benji Sales on Twitter. He said there was some graphics they presented at GDC. Biggest thing is the biggest points from this, I guess, are subscribers pay 40% more. They play 40% more games after joining Game Pass. Games on average see a 8.3% lift in players, as you can see this chart here, kind of the bell curve of the average. The average of that is 8.3. On the high end, the 28 times the amount of players, like I guess that you could see, in a player lift, so to speak. The Game Pass also broadens, I guess, the funnel for day-and-date games. So for large publishers, subscribers, they're willing to spend more. I mean, there's also just we can see here from large publishers, we see the first 30 days, like these averages like climb drastically for I guess the day-and-date games that come out. Large publishers, they see a lot of like these day one games, like they see these huge surges, right? Because it's on Game Pass. Large publishers see it, but I mean, independents see it. They reap the most benefit from this, which I think makes the most sense. I mean, we're talking a 15x increase when they launch a game on Game Pass day one. It's such a beautiful thing to see. Oh my goodness, it's so sick. Yeah, day one launches are the biggest. I think one of the biggest things we see is if you're on Game Pass, where you're going to get a lot more people playing your game. And there's also other graphics. The biggest thing too, and I think what will make any stakeholder happy, is that members are willing to spend more money on games if they get it through Game Pass. So if the game's free, obviously you get great content there, or you get it at a very low monthly rate. I mean, if that microtransaction all of a sudden looks a little more tasty, you know what I'm saying? When you're not having to pay the $60 up front, you're willing to pay a little more on microtransactions and add-ons and the like. So it's no surprise there, I don't think. I mean, and the last graphic they show is that indies, we talked about on ID at Xbox, it's like their huge independent developer push. We see those ID and Xbox partners, their revenue increase is astronomical. It's like triple, I think, what they were seeing before.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, they show from 2016 to 2020 and how much the Game Pass participation has helped independent developers that are a part of the system. So, seeing independent, I think, shine here is the biggest thing for me. The fact that we get to see these smaller developers have a better chance of making something sustainable and then growing as a studio and then making these insane games that are years from now. I think ID at Xbox is really they're really watering that plant, and then it's just going to grow into something insane, and we're going to see these crazy IPs in a few years. It's very exciting. I feel like most people, especially, they look at independent games and they kind of just bat an eye at it. They don't really think about it, but it's just especially those early games, they may not be the best, but you can only go up in game development, especially when you're doing the smaller stuff. So it's very exciting stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, I know this don't surprise you, Mike, seeing Game Pass.
I've been calling it.
Do this.
I've been calling it.
I feel like it's kind of obvious, but yeah, it's
Have you played any indie games using Game Pass?
come to think of it, I don't know if I have. I think there was one game I played. It was a while ago though. I'm really bad about not getting especially checking Game Pass and seeing what's available. I check I check I try to check at least once a month, but it's very easy to get caught up in other games for me. So, but I mean, there's just so much. I mean, there's a huge especially single player catalog that I have that are of games that are on Game Pass that I want to check out. I think it's Plague Tale: Innocence is one of them. I haven't had a chance to see that. I've seen the gameplay; it looks phenomenal. There's some others too. I think like Hellblade, I think's even on Game Pass. I definitely want to check that out because I haven't had a
Yeah.
chance to play that. There's a lot though, man. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sick to, like, just get on, and if this is actually like, Game Pass is one of the few things where it's perfect if you're a streamer, by the way, and you're just looking for a new game to play. But, like, if you're just gaming and you're sick of playing the same game over and over and over again, you can just open up the library, go to the indie section, and then just look at some previews or whatever and see if that might be interesting to you. Download it real quick because the games usually aren't huge,
Yeah,
and then get to playing. And it's like, why would you not do that? Like, it's included in your game.
yeah,
And that I think what's happening is people that are in that, like, same, like, mindset of trying out new games, they get to an indie developer, they know it's an indie developer, and they're just like, "Oh, wow, this game is actually, like, really good. Like, I wanna help support this game. I
yeah,
wanna see the sequel. I wanna be a part of it." You know what I mean? Because it's true, you can be. You can get super involved with these indie guys. I mean, they're like everyday people
yeah,
that will respond to your Twitters, like, posts and stuff like that.
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I think it's cool, man. I really do. I didn't know it was that big of a jump, though.
Yeah, I know.
15 times more likely to play
Yeah, isn't that
if
crazy?
they're on idea Xbox,
Well, like
creators, like,
yeah, like for like the idea at Xbox like games, like for all these indie games, that day, if you're on Game Pass day one, people are 15%. See a 15% growth of people that are willing to try your game. It's crazy.
I mean,
Um,
that's if you're a developer, that should be your goal.
yeah, for real.
Like,
You know, there was one game thought of recently that I played. I don't think it was certainly I don't think it was like an ID on Xbox, but it was an indie game. It was called a game called Unrailed, which is a pretty fun kind of co-op game where you're essentially you have these stations and the game goes on forever and you have these stations and you have to build rails between each station and let a train go along the rail as you build it. And the goal is to get from one station to the other, and then you can upgrade your train with each station you arrive at. It's a very fun co-op game. I think you can have like 2 to 4 players. It's a game where you have to. It's a very teamwork oriented game where you have to work together to build the rail for this train to travel, and then you get to upgrade your train. You go to different. There's like different like biomes too. Like there's a snow biome, a desert biome. You're in space at one point. It gets crazy.
what?
Yeah, and like when you go to
That's
each of these
cool.
biomes, it introduces a new challenge for you. So like in the
Yeah.
snow biome, obviously it snows, so the snow gets heavy, it makes you move slower, so you have to try and like figure out ways to move around more efficiently. And like the desert biome, it's like it's very dry, so your train can like heat up quicker, and it's very hard to find like water sources because the engine does heat up very quickly, and you have to constantly put it out. So you have to figure out like a water source
Oh,
to use,
no.
and, like put it out. Um, but yeah, there's so it's like very it's such a creative game, and like it's very again it's a small game, doesn't take much to download. I was very hesitant to play, but I had a friend that was like, "Yo, let's play this," and I was like, "All right, cool." So like I was a little hesitant, but I hopped on, and like within like 5 minutes I was hooked, and we just played hours, and like we played it like 2 or 3 other times. It was just so much fun. Like you just don't knock until you try it, you know. You'll find some gems out there in the indie game realm.
I mean, you really will. So, definitely check it out.
Check it out, baby. Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, kind of the last story I wanted to talk about. I've seen
Yes.
I think for the most part, we've seen a lot of praise from Game Pass. I've also seen discussions about even on like a podcast I oftentimes listen to is the Kind of Funny Xcast. It's a Xbox devoted podcast, quite kind of funny. The guys over there always do a really good job of keeping things analytical and kind of seeing the Xbox ecosystem. And they had a episode where they talked about Game Pass, but they also talked about some of the things they would love to see from Game Pass, some kind of things they feel like that Game Pass may be missing. One of those things was a family plan. I know one of the hosts, Paris. He's a dad, I think, of 2 kids. He has a wife and 2 kids, and one of the big things is, you know, they're all gamers, right? So they have an Xbox in the living room, so um they always want to play games on Game Pass, and so he lets them use their account, but it's a whole like song and dance about having to like, you know, sign off and sign on to different accounts and make sure they're
Yeah.
set up. So he said, one of the things for him and one of the holes that they are missing is just a family plan for Game Pass. Well, it seems like Microsoft is answering that question because they are reportedly getting a family plan this year that will include access for 5 players on one subscription. Um, as far as details, I'm not sure if they've released price yet. Again, I think this is kind of just like early, early rumors, but
Yeah.
but 5 players will be priced at kind of a it'll certainly be a cheaper cost than trying to do 5 accounts, no doubt. But this is they Microsoft is listening and they're seeing where they have potential gaps in their service, and they're working to actively make Game Pass better, which is why it's so hard to compete with this, and why I think it's
Yeah.
going to be so. Who knows if we'll ever see like proper competition, especially in today's gaming market with the amount of studios Microsoft's buying up and just
Facts.
the amount of potential like they for new IPs and bringing existing IPs into Game Pass and just making the subscription like crazy. I really hope they don't make the price higher. That's like my only my only hope,
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But I mean, even
Yeah.
at $20, $25, I mean, it's kind of still worth it to a certain extent, Like, I
What's
don't
the
know.
most you would spend?
It's a good question. I don't know. If you make it like 30, I might be I don't know. I might back down a little bit. But
Like, okay, so right now it's what, 15?
that's
15 a
15.
month?
I mean, even if they were to do
If it goes to 20,
if it goes to
you still
20,
paying?
yeah, I'm still paying. It's 5
All right,
bucks.
25.
25? I mean,
You're thinking about it.
yeah, I mean, at that point I'm thinking about it, but
Yeah.
like at the same time, like if it gets to the point of 25 and they have all these different IPs and they have all these games coming up that are going to release day one and they have like I'll probably do it. Like if especially like with the Activision Blizzard acquisition, like because I have a feeling like if they raise the price, it wouldn't be for probably until kind of maybe that has like kind of we see some more IP and then we also see like these acquisitions kind of starting to roll through. I think is when we'll start to see like that's when
Yeah.
they may try to reevaluate a price increase, if at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the back end logistics. I mean, I know they're making a lot of money off this already.
Oh, yeah.
So, if they, with Phil Spencer at the head, it may just be like, oh, let's just keep this price because if we're certainly going to lose people even
It
if we
works.
increase it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it works. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful in our Lord and Savior Phil Spencer that that we'll have
The wise
a decent
it
price.
is
I'm
our
very
Lord and Savior, wise prophet.
wise prophet. But yeah, this is very good to see. They're certainly answering to a part of the gamer market that
They
are
really are, yeah.
families, introducing especially all these kids out here wanting to play games, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's actually perfect because it's like people in their 30s, 40s, like they're starting to have kids, and that's really when gaming started. Like there's some 50-year-old gamers out there, they're kind of rare. But like our generation, we're gonna get older. I'm not stopping. I'm gonna be playing games in the nursing home. Straight up.
X,
So
sir.
having a family plan where I can just completely destroy my grandchildren, bro. Like we're thinking light years ahead. I'm gonna be talking so much smack, like going on to the 56th version of Call of Duty, just bopping people in VR headsets.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
hey, no shot, man.
You don't even have to
No
move. You're
shot.
sitting in your wheelchair with your headset on. You're just like you don't even have to
Honestly, like
think,
we're
dude.
gonna have chips in our brain, just plug me up like the Matrix. Like dude, we're
Oh,
talking years. We're talking 60
oh,
years of
dude,
gaming experience.
your
You're gonna
old
get
lake,
waxed,
dude.
kid.
Oh
You're gonna get
man,
waxed.
what to say?
So
Oh, so exciting. Yeah, but definitely making the smart move here from Game Pass, man.
yep. Yep,
Smart
yep, yep,
move.
yep, yep.
Well, well, Mike, I think that was all the stories I had this week. Unless you had anything else to cover.
Um, the only other thing that I was gonna bring up is uh we haven't gotten the full list of active games that are coming out for this next month,
Hmm.
April. But we do know for a fact that Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is coming out April 5th on all platforms except for PC. I don't think I saw it on PC.
Hmm.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that if you're a Star Wars fan, which actually a lot of people are. that might interest you. But that was the main thing that stuck out to me that I wanted to bring up. Uh, oh, also, no, it does come out on PC. I stand corrected. So it does come out on PC. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, have you seen or watched any gameplay of Ghostwire Tokyo,
Yes, I
the
actually have
PlayStation
a
game?
little bit. Yeah, I've seen some gameplay. It's God, it looks
I haven't.
so crazy. Um,
Okay.
it's
Does it look as good
crazy.
as the trailer? I have not seen or played it, but that's like the next game I want to play for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, I mean the combat, it's what we saw in the trailer, right? Like they're just crazy,
It
like
looks
what's going
insane.
on type thing. Especially if you
Yeah.
like horror, man, you're gonna love it. Um, there's
Okay.
a lot of creepy stuff in that game. But I think that's kind of charm, you know. But yeah, I mean a little bit I've seen. It looks very interesting. I may check it out certainly at some point. Maybe not anytime soon. At least not in the next month or anything. But it's definitely gonna be on my list for sure. Maybe with that
Yeah.
PS5 when I finally get my hands on a PS5, that maybe the time.
Yeah. I got a buddy of mine that has like 3 of them. A total jerk. He's a hoarder. So
Yeah,
he's not even selling them.
yeah,
He just wants
unreal,
them.
unreal. You know.
Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever. At least I
Amazon did
guess.
have a drop, but I don't have the funds right now, unfortunately, to try and acquire, so I skipped out.
Yeah, that vacation mess you up.
A little bit, yeah, not gonna lie. Recovering, I got another one at the end of this month, so it's gonna be a weird summer. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, without further ado, I guess that was episode 11, season 3 of the M2 podcast. And you can catch us anywhere. Links are in the description. Keep an eye out for that guest episode with Spartan Boomer. It's
Yep.
actually pretty fun. Spartan, I mean, the dude is a total, like, I don't know what you would really call him. He's just like, he's super intentional with streaming.
Yeah.
He provides a lot of value, but he's also like high energy, full throttle, like just an overall good dude. And
He
I'm
is,
really
man.
excited about
It's great. Like,
showing the
yeah,
episode.
yeah. He's like you say, super intentional. He's a super smart guy, but he's just like very
Mhm.
charismatic and just fun to be around. He's like
It
the
really is.
like if I'm thinking of a streamer, he's kind of like the ideal in my opinion. So
Yeah.
definitely
And he's like,
excited.
and he's so new to it, but like when you watch him, it's just, you could tell that he just like, and we mentioned this in the episode, like you could tell that he just sat down for hours, if not days, with like knowing exactly what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
which was so cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he puts time into his craft,
yeah.
which you don't see a lot of, especially in the small streamer space. So he is someone that's going places, man, and I'm very excited for him. But yeah, definitely check out that episode, give it a listen. I think you'll get some
Mhm.
value out of it.
Yep. Anyways, I'm your host, Michael Anthony, Mr. JK Heath, aka Kyle Heath.
That's me. That's me.
And appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.